I'm just going to preface this, just in case, with I am not a doctor. I want to make this abundantly clear. Please, if you are feeling any physical problems, if you're feeling any emotional problems, if you are having behavioral issues, if you are depressed, if you think that life is not worth living, please contact a doctor and or a psychiatrist immediately. Right, and on with what I'm going to say. I keep seeing articles regarding people who are arrested or nearly arrested due to a seizure, whether it be epileptic or the non-epileptic seizure. There is such a thing, and that in and of itself is very painful for people, because the diagnosis of such is so complex, and people often think that people are faking it because they can't find a physical cause. But so in lies epilepsy. With there are roughly 40,000 different conditions that can cause seizures, and they can affect males and females very, very differently, and can be done by nature itself, or they can be caused by an injury. Now, what I'm going to discuss is, once again, people who are arrested or nearly arrested and have had to deal with legal consequences while trying to handle a seizure, which is a very, very complex and painful thing. And not only are you in pain because, let's say, during, say, a complex partial seizure or during a tonic-clonic, your muscles are being stretched, your muscles are being floppy and then stretched, and it's very, very hard on the bones and on the muscles. During some seizures, people will wander, or they may look and sound like they're very, very angry drunks. There are other medical conditions, people in the grips of certain diabetic issues, including diabetic ketoacidosis, which is different than ketosis, which is the effects of being on the keto diet and having a high-fat, moderate protein, and low-carb diet, and does not cause you to actually be in danger or have physical issues, including initial ketosis as a result of the diet can give you a breath that smells a bit like copper pennies. Diabetic ketoacidosis and other parts of your blood sugar and your insulin going out of whack can give you breath that smells not quite like something delicious, but something that smells quite a bit like, and I know this because I have had a diabetic parent, so I'm kind of used to, and I know the smell. And a lot of times, law enforcement still has trouble trying to figure this one out, because what they see, and they try to apply Occam's razor, which is that the simplest answer is probably the best and most true answer, which is complicated when it comes down to something medical. So, what can be done? I think that law enforcement needs to have education on how to look for signs of, say, a partial seizure. Look for signs that a person may be going to have a seizure, because some people have an aura beforehand where they might act slightly differently than they normally would. I think that they need to know the signs of and what to do during a seizure. Among other things, don't hold the person down. Don't try to stick anything in the mouth. Believe me on this one. I accidentally bit someone who thought that they should stick a finger in my mouth once. True story. They came to me later yelling at me because I'd bitten them. I have to say, I'm not actually all that sorry. But yeah, basically, so if you're watching and you are law enforcement, be on the lookout for slightly weird eyes. Be on the lookout for someone who it won't match what your typical drunk looks like. And most likely they're not going to be able to answer questions or follow orders. Also, make sure that you're on the lookout for medic alert bracelets and the information on the backside. And call there's a number where they can be reached along with an ID number for each person. People don't pay $50 a year for you to ignore them. And of course, please, if you're suspicious, please call an ambulance ASAP. Be with them. Don't try to get answers or obedience out of them. That's not going to work. And by all means, remember that there are times when the simplest answer is not the best. In conclusion, I would highly recommend many things. The medic alert system. It's $50 a year, but that can save your life. Carry a wallet card as well, especially if your bracelet, like mine, is small and you can only fit 2 or 3 things in the conditions field. Remember to have that on you at all times. Make sure that you have ICE numbers or in case of emergency numbers. And remember that if you're not feeling good, try to find a safe place to sit or lie down. But please, law enforcement, take a course on how to handle people with neurological disorders, and take care. And to patients, to caregivers, know that you're loved. Have a good night.